Hello there, this is Todd from the Scoundrels Cantina, and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars set review with an upgrade to it. In this video I'll be reviewing the Resistance Bomber set, whose number is 75188, while Luke the other Scoundrel will then be upgrading it and reviewing the upgrades. The Resistance Bomber, or should I say bombers, are most notably seen in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. This and the BB-8 set are the only sets that we liked from the 2017 Last Jedi Summer Wave, so we have no plans of getting the rest because we don't really like them, and we only get what we like. As you guys probably already know, we don't consider anything after Return of the Jedi as part of our story in our headcanon, including this, because we believe Return of the Jedi should be the happy ending in the Star Wars story, because it feels right to us that way. I'm just saying this to keep track of our headcanon throughout the videos. Basically, we think that the stuff after Return of the Jedi, like The Force Awakens, makes episodes 1 to 6 completely irrelevant, but LEGO on the other hand, even if it's based in the sequel era, is awesome and enjoyable as always, and that's why we do it. This Resistance Bomber, alongside the Ski Speeder, are our favorite sequel trilogy vehicles so far, and compared to all the rest, they are the ones that are actually similar to the old in a way, but very different and original. One of the reasons why we really like the Resistance Bomber is because of how much it reminds us of the Nebula B frigate, the Old Republic Hammerhead cruisers and corvettes, and the Galactic Federation's Scythe-class battlecruisers. All of those kinda have some similarities to this, especially the Nebula B frigate and the Scythe-class cruisers. Anyway, if this is your first time watching one of our videos, be sure to check out this video in which we explain our personal headcanon view on all of Star Wars, and the link for it will be below. First off, I'll be going over the Minifigs and the original set review, after which Luke will do an upgrade and review that. So without further interruption, let's begin. The first minifigure up is the Resistance Bomber Pilot, which is a very detailed minifigure in every sense of the word, although the rest are as well. He has specific markings on his helmet, which is different from all the rest, as well as a double-sided face. One is with his breathing mask on, and the other is kind of an in-battle face. Here's a look at the back of him, and let's move on to the next minifig. Now we have the Resistance Bombardier, who is recognized by his different colored helmet as well as a different mold of the helmet. What we like is that LEGO used the old Rebel Pilot helmet mold for him, which we prefer more than the new Resistance ones. His torso and legs are completely the same as with the first minifigure and the next one which comes after him. He also has a double-sided face. One is with his breathing mask, which is a bit different from the other minifigs' masks, and the other side is a simple smiley. By our thoughts, he has the best helmet here because of its amount of details and different colors. Third minifig up is Resistance Gunner Paige, who has the same mold of the helmet as the pilot and a different design on it. As said a moment ago, the torso and legs are completely the same as the first two minifigs. She also has a double-sided face, although with her it's a female face with the same breathing mask as the pilot, while on the other side, it's just a determined face. As you've probably noticed, all of these Resistance Pilot type characters look almost the same as the Rebel pilots from the Galactic Civil War, aka the original trilogy era. Why I'm mentioning this is because there are too many similarities with them and it's getting really boring as well as annoying. We remember a time when LEGO sets were bought for the sets themselves as well as the minifigs, but in the 2017 The Last Jedi Summer Wave, all the sets have very weak minifigs, which are either already seen before in previous sets, or new minifigs with a few more prints so that they are considered as new, or simply characters we've seen before but just in new outfits and that's it. It's as if the sequel trilogy has very little characters to offer, so LEGO recycles them into new sets or adds something to them. Keep in mind that we only got this set because we like the vehicle itself and not the minifigs, although these first three are kinda okay, but very unnecessary and unneeded. That's just our opinion. Anyway, next minifig up is Poe Dameron in his we believe to be pilot suit, but without the white and stuff needed to go into action. It kind of feels like there's too many sets with this guy, not to mention two versions of him in the 2017 Last Jedi Wave alone. He also has a double-sided face as the old minifigs, and both faces are already seen before in other sets. Here's a quick look at his backprints, so let's move on. The final minifigure of this set is Vice Admiral Holdo, which is the least detailed figure of them all here. There's really not much to say about her except to show you her double-sided face with a regular face and her talking to someone face, as well as some of her prints in the back. She's probably the most worthless figure in this set, and we don't really like her as herself, so her pieces will be used for a Satele Shan in Exile custom minifigure. We're also not too keen on her in-universe character, and believe us, we have our reasons, which are not really for this video. All in all, the minifigs are of high quality but terribly unneeded, especially for us. Although we can't say the same for the actual set, which is awesome. And with that said, let's move on to the set review. The actual name of the Resistance Bomber is B/SF-17 Heavy Bomber, and so far we have seen it comes in two colors, blue and red. This set is proof that if LEGO would make a Hammerhead Corvette or Cruiser and a Nebula B frigate, that those sets would be amazing. As you may know, we're not really fans of the Star Wars sequels, but the design of this vehicle is simply very good, as well as the LEGO set itself. Regarding the summer wave, The Last Jedi LEGO, this is definitely the best set out of all of them. Anyways, starting off with the upper front part of the bomber, we have two small wings on each side, which we think is there simply design-wise because it looks very empty without them. They are not very detailed and definitely require an upgrade. In the middle, as you can see, is the cockpit, for which LEGO chose the same cockpit piece which is on the Millennium Falcon, but the only difference on it are the prints. You can just simply slide off the cockpit, and inside you have two so-called seats to put your minifigs, as well as 4 control panels, which is great. This is what it looks like when you put in the pilot, as well as an extra minifig at the back. Under the cockpit, there are some gun emplacements and details which are pretty accurate to the real thing, judging only by the bomber scene in the teaser trailer. I really like how this whole front under the cockpit looks like, with all the blue slope pieces and gray tiles going down to the bottom of the ship. At the bottom, there's one more gun emplacement which is longer, as well as the stand for the bomber. The stand is something which is not accurate to the actual bomber from the movie, and is simply there to keep it in place since it's not a ship which can stand on its own because of the design of it. Underneath the bomber, you can see the look of the stand as well as a hole in it where the feature of the bombs falling out is, which I'll show you in a moment. Also, here at the bottom is, well, kind of a bubble turret, which is really cool as always. By the way, main reason why it's always awesome is because the Republic gunship has them, and that's our favorite vehicle in all of Star Wars. Anyway, now it's taken out, and here's a quick 360 view of it, and as you can see, it's not in the same shape as the gunship bubble turrets, but still very nice. The cannons can move up and down, and you can also open the bubble from both sides like this. You can add a gunner inside, but a con is that minifigs kinda barely fit inside because you have to weirdly position them to fit in. Anyway, moving on, here in the sides and the back are some details for good looks and all, but it can easily be made to look better. Going up a bit, we have the engines of the ship, which are very nicely done, although we would have preferred them to be in red color because it would look better, at least we think so. Next to the engines at the side of the bomber are these pipe pieces that have awesome details which led to one of the smaller engines. Next to it are some tiles, as well as a hidden spring-loaded shooter, which is much better in the other sets because it's mostly not visible. You fire the shooter by pressing this button here. Now moving on to the main feature of the set, which is bombing, the thing this vehicle is for. Anyway, on the top here, you can open up this hatch on either side you want, and after doing that, you add your bombs inside, as if you're putting ammunition into a mag of a gun. After that's done, you pick up the bomber and press this button at the lower parts of the ship and release the bombs. The more you press, the more bombs you release. This feature is surprisingly very effective, and we like it. Anyway, moving on to the, let's call it roof, with sticker details on the top, as well as a few black vent pieces on the sides, which never looks bad. You can pull that roof up, which reveals our favorite part of the ship, which is the inside. I mean, you cannot not love it because it looks so nice and cozy inside, especially because of the bubble lookout window area. Not to mention that it has awesome playability with it due to it having a chair inside, as well as room for 4 minifigs, if you're counting BB-8 that is. Inside there are some backpacks, a control panel, and details all around. The thing that we don't like with this part are that there are too many unnecessary colors which don't really look good together. That is something which will definitely be fixed in the upgrade. Anyway, this is what it looks like with the minifigs inside, so now let's close this thing. Gotta love the bubble lookout window with a minifigure inside. Moving to the back, we have some slopes and tiles on sides, which could easily look better and will in the upgrade, but we just don't know why LEGO always leaves something look unfinished like this. Anyway, at the very back is another bubble turret, which is completely the same as the lower one. Also, these things can move 360, but we're not really sure what the point of them is, and are they supposed to be fixed in place in the actual movie. The last feature to this set are the bubble turrets following Earth's gravitational pull, which is really an interesting and fun choice, especially if you like to fly it around in hand. Anyway, that would be it on the set review, and now I'm gonna let Luke upgrade it and review the upgraded version, of course. That's it for me, so see you later, guys.
Anyway guys, the upgrade of the Resistance Bomber is complete, and even though the set is the best out of all the Last Jedi 2017 summer wave of sets, it still required quite a bit of upgrades because, as always, LEGO for some reason is lazy with some things, especially the tiling. Starting off with the upper front of the bomber, we have the upgraded wings on the sides of the cockpit, on which I added another layer of pieces which include some tiles and some red stripes. On the actual front of the cockpit, I changed the way the pieces were established because they didn't look symmetrical at all. Regarding the inside of the cockpit, I took out all the control panels in order to use them for something better because it was unnecessary to have so many in the bomber. I replaced them with a different control panel as well as different tiling on the sides alongside the seats. Also, here's a quick look of it when the minifigs are in. Moving under the cockpit, I just added a circular tile underneath the cylindrical piece, and that will be it. Going to the bottom, I added an extra grey tile piece in the middle of the lower front, right above the gun emplacement, as well as more slopes on the sides, as you can see. Now regarding the blue parts of the bomber, I basically almost tiled everything up, instead of it being with regular stud pieces, and this is something that made it look so much better. Right next to the newly tiled blue pieces, I added these light grey slopes to make a nice slide down to the blue pieces, as well as prolonging the whole grey area in order to hide the dark grey parts that the original set had. Regarding the stand of the bomber, I changed almost nothing except a minor color scheme, and that would be it. Now the bubble turret suffered from an unnecessary beige piece on the inside, which I simply changed with a light grey one, and that will basically be it regarding the turrets. At the backside I replaced all the light grey pieces with the dark grey ones, simply for it to not be too colourful as it was, as well as make it look better. Now coming up to the engines, they've been mostly untouched, except that I changed the beige piece behind them into a dark grey one. The reason I do those small changes that often is because LEGO always uses very unnecessary colors that really don't look good. Here we have the side engines with the pipe pieces, and on it I removed some details which I replaced with grey tiles, as well as dark grey stripe pieces. Also, the spring-loaded shooters were untouched because they are not really visible and don't ruin the look of the ship. Now here we have the top of the ship where the bomb feature goes, on which I simply put tiles, as well as underneath it where there was a missing blue piece. Anyway, the bombing feature of the set can still be used, but only if I remove this tile piece on top of it. Moving on to the part of the ship which opens up, I put in, well you guessed it, more tiles and slopes because they always make everything look better. Inside the bomber, aka our favorite part of it, has been changed quite a bit. First off, the unnecessary colors have all been removed and replaced with either light grey or dark grey pieces, as you can see. The two walls on each side are now symmetrical with the control panels, those circular pieces on the walls, as well as basically everything else. The minifigures I'll be keeping inside here will surely be Poe Dameron, Finn and BB-8, as well as a Resistance Trooper but in the bubble lookout seat. Mainly because these characters are likable compared to others by our opinion. Anyway, moving to the back of the bomber, I added more tiles on the top, which goes completely to the end where the bubble turret is. On the sides, I yet again tiled up everything I could and added slopes, especially here at the back where it really felt empty in the original set. So that will basically be it on the upgrades of the bomber. All in all, this is one of the best sequel-related LEGO sets by our opinion, and we really do recommend it because it looks great as well as has the best playability to it. The minifigures are in great quality as always, but are very unneeded and unnecessary, so that's like the only thumbs down to this set. Anyway guys, this is it on the set review, and I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to check out our other videos and subscribe. The links to the playlist for our other set reviews will be in the description down below, as well as the playlist to our mock reviews and custom minifigure builds. Before I end this, be sure to check out my room tour video in which you can see my whole LEGO Star Wars collection, and after you watch it, tell us in the comments down below what you want us to review next. The link for it is also in the description, and I hope you enjoyed the slideshow now at the end. Anyway, remember guys, God is awesome, may the Force be with you always, and we'll see you in another video. You Rebel Scum! Have an awesome day, bye bye.